Hello, lovely viewers. Thank you for sticking with us. And from your previous comments in our previous video, it was quite amazing. We all learned a lot. Yes, I also did learn my fair share of the lessons that was in there. Okay, in today's episode, we are going to talk about hypertension and all the causes, the risk involved, the measures we need to take, and the simple things that we can do at home just to prevent this particular ailment. So, high blood pressure is a common condition in which the long-term or force of the blood against your artery walls is high enough that it may eventually cause health problems such as heart disease and all that. Yes, so we are going to delve into all those matters. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll go into details.
Perfect Living TV above and beyond.
Welcome back from that short break. Now, blood pressure is determined both by the amount of blood your heart pumps and the amount of resistance to blood flow in your arteries. The more blood your heart pumps and the narrower your arteries, the higher your blood pressure. You can have high blood pressure, which is hypertension, for years without any symptoms. Even without symptoms, damage to body vessels in your heart continues and can be detected. Uncontrolled high blood pressure increases your risk of serious health problems, including heart attack and stroke and other also ailments as well. High blood pressure generally develops over many years and it affects nearly everyone eventually. Fortunately, high blood pressure can be easily detected. And once you know you have high blood pressure, you can work with your doctor to control it. Now let's look at some symptoms that you can get. Most people with high blood pressure have no signs or symptoms, even if blood pressure readings reach dangerously high levels. A few people with high blood pressure may have headaches, shortness of breath, or nosebleeds. But these signs and symptoms aren't specific, and usually they don't occur until high blood pressure has reached a severe or life-threatening stage. Now, when do you need to see a doctor? Yes, you will likely have your blood pressure taken as part of a routine, a doctor's appointment and all that. Now, ask your doctor for a blood pressure reading at least every 2 years, starting at the age of 18. If you are age 40 or older or you are 18 to 39 with a high risk of high blood pressure, or ask your doctor for a blood pressure reading every year just to be able to regulate your blood, Okay. Now, blood pressure generally should be checked in both arms, to determine if there is a difference, variations between the two. It's important to use an appropriate size arm cuff. Your doctor would likely recommend more frequent readings if you've already been diagnosed with high blood pressure or have other risk factors for cardiovascular diseases. Children at age 3 and older will usually have blood pressure measured as part of their yearly checkups. If you don't regularly see your doctor, you may be able to get a free blood pressure screening at a health resource fair or other locations in your community. You can also find machines in some stores that will measure your blood pressure for free. Now, public blood pressure machines such as those found in pharmacies may provide helpful information about your blood pressure, but they may have some limitations. The accuracy of these machines depends on several factors, such as correct cuff size and proper use of machines and all that. You need to ask your doctor for advice on using public blood pressure machines. Now let's look at some causes. Now we have two types of causes of high blood pressure. We have primary, essential, and then we have secondary hypertension. For most adults with primary essential or essential hypertension, there's no identifiable cause of high blood pressure. This type of high blood pressure, called the primary or essential hypertension, tends to develop gradually over many years before you notice it. But with the secondary hypertension, some people have high blood pressure caused by an underlying condition. This type of high blood pressure, called the secondary hypertension, tends to appear suddenly and cause higher blood pressure than other primary hypertension. Various conditions and medications can lead to this kind of condition, which is secondary hypertension, including obstructive sleep, kidney problems, adrenal gland tumors, thyroid problems, certain defects you were born with, which is congenital in blood vessels, certain medications such as birth control pills, cold remedies, decongestants, over-the-counter pain relievers, and some prescription drugs, illegal drugs such as cocaine and amphetamines. Yeah. This can also cause severe hypertension. High blood pressure has many risk factors, including your age. The risk of high blood pressure increases as you age until about the age of 64. High blood pressure is more common in men. Women are more likely to develop high blood pressure at after the age of 65. Now, your race. High blood pressure is particularly common among people of the African heritage, often developing at an earlier age than it does in the white people. Serious complications such as stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, diabetes also are more common in people in the African heritage. Now let's look at family history. High blood pressure tends to run in families. Being overweight or obese, the more you weigh, the more your blood you need to supply oxygen and nutrients to your tissues. As the volume of blood circulated through your blood vessels increases, so does the pressure on your artery walls. Now, not being physically active can also be a contributing factor. People who are inactive tend to have higher heart rates. The higher your heart rate, the harder your heart must work with each contractions, and the stronger the force on your arteries. Lack of physical activity also increases the risk of being overweight. So always remember that. Using tobacco. Not only does smoking or chewing tobacco immediately raises your blood pressure temporarily, but the chemicals in tobacco can damage the lining of your artery walls. This can cause your arteries to narrow and increase your risk of heart disease. Secondhand smoke also can increase your heart disease risk. Get to know that. Okay, now moving on. Too much sodium in your diet. Too much sodium in your diet can cause your body to retain fluid, which increases blood pressure. If you remember our kidney video, you will know that we talked about sodium in your blood. Yeah, you can go check that down there. Okay, too little potassium in your diet. Potassium helps balance the amount of sodium in your cells. So if you don't get enough potassium in your diet or retain enough potassium, you may accumulate too much sodium in your blood. Now, drinking too much alcohol can also be another contributing factor or a high risk. Over time, heavy drinking can damage your heart. Having more than one drink a day for women and more than 2 drinks a day for men may affect your blood pressure. If you drink alcohol, do so in moderation. You know, for healthy adults, that means up to 1 drink a day for women and 2 drinks a day for men. 1 drink equals 12 ounces of beer and 5 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of 80 proof liquor. So you should know that taking alcohol in your system is really stressing your kidney and your arteries. Now, stress. High levels of stress can lead to a temporary increase in blood pressure. If you try to relax by eating more, using tobacco, or drinking alcohol, you may only increase problems with high blood pressure. Certain chronic conditions also may increase your risk of high blood pressure, such as kidney diseases, diabetes, and sleep apnea. Sometimes pregnancy contributes to high blood pressure as well. Although high blood pressure is most common in adults, children may be at risk too. For some children, high blood pressure is caused by problems with the kidneys or heart. But for a growing number of kids, poor lifestyle habits such as unhealthy diet, obesity, and lack of exercises also contribute to high blood pressure. Now, let's look at complications. The excessive pressure on your artery walls caused by high blood pressure can damage your blood vessels as well as organs in your body. The higher your body pressure and the longer it goes uncontrolled, the greater the damage you have. Uncontrolled high blood pressure can lead to complications including heart attack or stroke. High blood pressure can cause hardening and thickening of the arteries, which can lead to a heart attack, stroke, or other complications. Aneurysm. Increased blood pressure can cause your blood vessels to weaken and bulge, forming an aneurysm. If an aneurysm ruptures, it can be life-threatening. Now, heart failure is also another factor. A pump blood against the higher pressure in your vessels in the heart has to work harder. The causes of the walls of your heart's pumping chamber to thicken left ventricular hypertrophy, Eventually, the thickened muscle can have a hard time pumping enough blood to meet your body's needs, which can lead to heart failure. Weakened and narrowed blood vessels in your kidneys. This can prevent these organs from functioning normally. So thickened, narrowed, or torn blood vessels in the eyes can result in vision loss. Okay. Metabolic syndrome. This syndrome is a cluster of disorders of your body's metabolism, including increased waist circumference, high triglycerides, low density lipoprotein, and then we have cholesterol. So the good cholesterol and then high blood pressure and high insulin levels. These conditions make you more likely to develop diabetes, heart diseases, and stroke. So let's all take that into consideration. Trouble with memory or understanding. Uncontrolled high blood pressure may affect your ability to think, remember, and learn. Trouble with memory or understanding concept is more common in people with high blood pressure. Now let's look at dementia. Narrowed or blocked arteries can limit blood flow to the brain, leading to a certain type of dementia, vascular dementia. A stroke that interrupts blood flow to the brain can also cause vascular dementia. So let's make sure we consider all these factors when we are doing anything, running our daily lives and going about with our daily activities. This is where we end today's episode. My name is Jennifer Amlade. Thanks for watching. Make sure you ask your questions below, subscribe, hit the notification button so you'll be notified anytime we make a post. Thanks for watching. I love you.